Well, all right, let's talk about Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, who got off to a very good start, and then things really kind of went off the rails here in the second half. They nearly, again, a missed field goal would have tied the game at halftime. So this was not a complete blowout the whole game, but it definitely got off the rails in the second half. Let's talk about it all. What went right for Bo Nix at times, who I actually thought still played all right in this game, and ultimately why they ended up losing. Let's start off with this play, because it started off with a bang, right? They were able to move the ball quickly to midfield, and then they would get this play. Pay no attention to the yellow circle with the defensive lineman. That's what the broadcast put there. But you have Troy Franklin running a deep shot against quarters coverage, which might make you think, well, you're running into double coverage. That should be easily covered, right? A lot of times these routes are designed to hopefully push the safety and corner further deep, but if you're the Bills, you don't want to have both of your guys cover him deep, right? As long as one guy has him covered, you feel pretty good about that matchup. So that's kind of what they're going to try and do here. The issue is you have to make sure you know which guy is staying deep. Nix takes the snap. The Bills do not make this happen. And this is what Sean Payton does, is he notices little mistakes that your defense makes. And I'm sure this was coached. I'm sure they said, hey, let's have a fast guy go in between those two. Sometimes they give up a little bit of space, and Bo Nix be ready for it if it's there. And this has been an issue with the Bills sometimes throughout the Sean McDermott era, who's very good. Every now and then it seems like these happen, usually against Kansas City, right? But every now and then these types of things happen. It's happening here. Also, sorry, Bills fans, for that. I'm sure you don't want me to bring up your Kansas City playoff games. I apologize. But as you see, it's a great throw from Bo Nix, too. I mean, that's right on the money. Good catch there. I always feel like I feel like if I was ever in the NFL, I would drop 100% of 50-yard completions just because I'd be too nervous. So good job to not be too nervous, make the grab there, and get the big touchdown. Of course, then it became quite the struggle for the Denver Broncos. What happened? Well, for one thing, they weren't running the ball very well, so you get a lot of these obvious passing situations. So putting Bo Nix in a tough spot that way. 3rd down and 7. What do you do here? Well, the Bills are going to be playing man coverage across the board, and that's kind of the issue, right? The Bills can play man coverage well, even if sometimes they can make these mistakes in zone. No mistakes can be made here. You need someone to win, and what's the thing we talk about with the Broncos? Courtland Sutton's very good, but they don't necessarily have an elite receiving core. I think that's fair to say, right? Even the most diehard Broncos fans would agree. Also, on this play, it doesn't help that because it was set up as though it was a cover 0. It wasn't, but there was a blitz. A free rusher gets there, and as of right here, I mean, Nix just throws one up. And to be honest, here, I mean, even if Courtland Sutton was winning, like, it's just a pure, 500 alive, throw it up, hope it works out because it's 3rd and 7. If not, it's an arm punt. Here you've seen, no harm, no foul, but on a play earlier, Courtland Sutton wasn't able to get open. Nix had to go somewhere else and wasn't able to get a conversion. That was kind of the issue, was getting in these obvious passing situations. It's tough, and the Broncos just not able to beat man on these plays. But it's not that they were never able to beat man. I mean, this play, which is a key play, it's 15 seconds left. You're trying to see if you can get into field goal range right here. What they're going to do is they're going to have Courtland Sutton just go completely across the field right here. As I said, Courtland Sutton is their guy, and so Buffalo, there's a one-on-one matchup. The guy who's covering him on this play is Christian Benford, and watch what happens. Nix is going to have a designed rollout, which makes it difficult, but we all know he's so good at throwing on the run, and you see right here, there is a window. Is it the biggest window you'll ever see? No, but I think the difficulty is having to make this throw off balance. But again, we just trust Bo Nix to make these throws, right? He does it so consistently. As you see, he is able to make that throw. Unfortunately, it resulted in a missed field goal anyway, so that wasn't ideal, but still, really good play from Bo Nix, right? Also, something that went wrong was something like this, where it's going to be so this is what the Bills were doing, right? They were stopping to run on 1st and 2nd down, and then on 3rd down, you have the obvious passing situation. Let's play man coverage, force you to beat us. Okay, got it. Understood. Let's see if we can get a win here. Well, Bo Nix takes the snap, and the play isn't really working as designed, which was something that happened way too much. But you have Troy Franklin, who obviously had that big touchdown early on that made you think things could go very well. there's not separation, but the defensive back kind of, has is closer towards the bottom of the screen, and Bo Nix is going to say, hey, let's just treat this like a basketball play. Let's throw up a jump ball, trust that my 6'4" receiver can win this play. So Tony Romo called it a bit of a high throw, but this is by design. That's what he's trying to do here. As you see, flips it over, and it's just really a dropped pass right there. I mean, that was an issue. There were a couple of those as well. I'm not saying that was the difference, but there were some opportunities that the Broncos had. If you hit on these, maybe it keeps your defense rested. It's a whole thing, right? So this was another way where this Bills team is hard to beat. You can't beat yourself on top of trying to beat them. Now, we did see things get a little bit better for the Denver Broncos, like going over here. So this is going to be a zone coverage play. And I think really what's happening here is, so the Broncos are going to start passing the ball because they're down 3 scores. I'm going to give a couple of critiques to Sean Payton. I'm not going to crush him. It's a tough situation here. Although I still think there were things he could have done differently. I'm not sure if it would have made a difference, but I would have still liked to see it. You see how it's zone coverage on first down. It's what the Bills were doing for most of the game. I would have liked to see them do this more, where you see Bo Nix is going to take the snap and throw the ball on first down. He's able to hit his receiver on this one, finds a gap in coverage. Sean Payton's so good at scheming this stuff up. I would have liked to see him do this a bit more, play a little bit more aggressive. There was way too many first down runs for 1 yard in this game. Again, easy to say it in hindsight, but even going into this game, that was something that I said I wanted to see them do. So, critique there. Also this play, so it's a 4th down and 2. You got to go for it. And if you're going to have a chance to win this game, what you have to do is you have to convert here. So, need this play. I don't fully understand the logic on this one. I do feel like Bo Nix was having a nice drive. They instead go with this designed rollout to hit it to halfback. It does not work. Again, these are the plays that when they work, everyone says great play call. When they fail, everyone says, what are you doing? Would have loved to have Bo Nix have the ball in his hands. I mean, it technically was in his hands, but you know what I mean. I would have loved to see him, have a chance there. It's one of those things where when it works, who cares? But when it doesn't, it stings a little bit. Again, am I being using hindsight here? 1,000%. But still, it didn't work. You want to be able to make these work a little bit more. But like I said, this was a tough situation. I certainly can't crush Sean Payton for anything he did here. And he had some good stuff like the fake punt and things like that. So yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts. Again, I really didn't see this as an awful Bo Nix day. I mean, if your rookie quarterback has a bad, first playoff game, okay, it is what it is. That's not really what I saw here, though. I think that the reality is they just don't have the horses, no pun intended, on the outside to compete with a team like Buffalo, and they weren't good enough at running the football to compete with a team like Buffalo. I think those are the things you have to improve upon. Defense was great. Bo Nix did a lot of really good stuff. Got to get him some help now if you're going to, improve. But a great season for the Buffalo Bills here is kind of how I view this. But that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.